Mr. Prakash Iyer. The former Managing Director and CEO of Infomedia India Limited, Prakash Iyer is currently the Managing Director, Kimberly Clark Lever, a man who shed dust and gained shine as he rolled on through his journey in hardcore selling. Mr. Iyer first became Executive Director, South India and Sri Lanka at PepsiCo, and later Regional Vice President at PepsiCo China. An alumnus of the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, passionate about cricket, Mr. Prakash Iyer is also a business coach and a writer. His first book, titled The Habit of Winning, has recently been published by Penguin. We have extreme pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming a man who has worked with teams selling everything from soaps and colas to yellow pages and diapers, Mr. Prakash Iyer.
I request Mr. Prakash Iyer. Yes, sir. Can you hear me at the back there? Oh, good. You know, the last time I asked this question, someone from the back said, "We can't hear you, but carry on anyways." So this is good to hear. All right. Thanks very much. Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for still being around for what is really the last session of this conclave. I must tell you that, you know, as I first touched this lectern, shock sa laga. Clearly, Major General's current has actually passed through this, and he's left a lot of it behind over here. So, you know, I think it was fascinating listening to him speak, and I must confess, I've been a big fan of, of this entire idea of winning. And I often wonder, what is it that makes some people win? Why is it that some individuals, some teams manage to do a lot more and come out winning? And why is it that in some cases a lot of talent exists but doesn't actually end up winning? And really this question stayed with me. And I remember there's a line from Vince Lombardi, an American football coach, who once said, "Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing." And it stayed with me to say, you know, it would be interesting to understand what makes some people win. And that's really what I'm going to try and share with you. This is not intended to be a major Gyan session on how to get it right. Okay, that's not the intention. How many of you here want to have some fun at the end of the day? Say yay. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to have some fun. And I'm going to start with an old saying, which is, you know, if there's an elephant in the room, the first thing you must do is to introduce him to everybody. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I was born in a little town called Jaipur, and I grew up. Yeah, how many from Jaipur? Someone there, obviously. And I grew up dreaming. You know, when I was a little kid, I just wanted to fly a kite. Yeah, how many of you ever flown a kite in your life? Okay, if you have, you would have discovered it's such a joy to be able to fly a kite. But you know what? The tough bit about flying a kite is getting started, okay? The ability to get that kite to go off and stay in the sky is the tough bit. Once it's up there, anybody can fly the kite, okay? And very often what happens is many of us give up before we try. We want to fly a kite, but we try, and when we can't get it up, we give up. And then we live a life where we haven't discovered the joy of ever having flown a kite, okay? The truth is, it's very simple. If you just ask someone to help you, right, and help you to kind of hoist the kite, it becomes very, very easy. And I think it's true. What that kite is telling us is that's what life is all about. You know, don't be scared to try. And if you're in trouble, just ask for help, and chances are somebody will actually help you to keep that kite going over there. And I must tell you that my my fascination with kites stayed for the rest of my life because, you know, I soon discovered that if you want a kite to fly higher, what do? You pull it closer towards you. You pull it towards you and it flies higher. People are like that too, yeah? You want them to go higher, pull them towards you. Push them, and like the kite, the people will also come falling down, okay? And I thought I had really learned a lot from kites until I saw this fabulous movie which kind of dates me a little bit. It's called Namak Haram, okay? Old 70s movie, Rajesh Khanna, Amitabh Bachchan. But you know, my hero in that movie was a guy, a role played by Raza Murad, who's a drunk poet and a kite seller, okay? And you know, he's about to die, and when he's about to die, he tells his friend, जब मैं चला जाऊंगा तो ये सारे पतंगे जो हैं दुकान में सबको बस्ती के बच्चों में बांट देना और you know, let them fly these kites. And then he adds this line, you know, so that जब दुनिया ये नज़ारा देखेगी तो उन्हें पता चल जाएगा कि ऊपर वालों की डोर नीचे वालों के हाथों में होती है. Yeah. So it's something that stayed with me, and it's probably a useful lesson to have in management too. I also grew up being very fond of cricket. Anybody here who doesn't like cricket? Thank you very much for being here. Okay, I've been a big fan of cricket, and I think there are a lot of lessons you can learn from cricket. And you'll probably find that, you know, this entire idea of what makes a captain suddenly turn a team into a winning combination, the pressures that people go through, the failures that people have to face. You know, no CEO in his life ever has to come home and tell his child, you know what? I was supposed to do something today and I didn't do it, and because of me, my company lost. But think about it. You know, India needs some runs to win, and poor Tendulkar goes home having failed, or Dravid gets out for a 0, and his child looks up at him and says, you know, and crowds boo him and say, you know, you didn't get it right. So I think it's lots to learn from cricket too. You know what? I started my career with this company. So finished school, B school, and went to work here. And the lesson that I want all of you to remember is, you know, when you finish from B school, your education doesn't end. It probably gets started. So an MBA is not a license to say you've become ruler of the world. It's a license to say you can now start learning. People will allow you to learn. And you know, Unilever is one of the better schools going around. But I must tell you this, you know, when I joined them, I was delighted. And I was like really looking forward to my first day at work. And you know, I was hoping that this is what I would do on my first day. Yeah? Just imagine what work could be to help, you know, find out how Zeenat Aman, you know, really uses Lux and says, this is the secret of my beauty. And I was looking forward to going to work and then, you know, changing strategy and deciding what advertising would be all about. And guess what? This is where they sent me. Yeah? They sent me off to a little town in India and said, you know, go and sell soap here. Understand what makes consumers part with hard-earned money to buy our products. And when you do that, you'll understand what this business is all about. And that's a lesson I haven't forgotten. And it's a lesson that I think all of us must remember. Because really, business does not happen inside boardrooms. It does not happen inside office cubicles. It happens out there, on the streets. And I think all of you, and I think, you know, having spoken to some of the people over here, it's delightful to know that you come from small town India, from the real India, which is the future of this country. Indore might be the best as far as our future goes, but I'm confident that it's really these small towns where our future will actually get built. You know, from there, I went to work for a company where I think I had the most fun that you can have with your clothes on. Yeah, it's a company called Pepsi. Great place to be. And, you know, we were this young company, you know, coming out of nowhere in the US, taking on the world's largest brand, okay? We were the small guys, and we thought we were winning at that time. Not sure what the score is right now. I'm guessing we're still winning, but, you know, we were taking on this company and saying, guys, go for it. And I think it was a great example of what passion can do to actually win in business. And at Pepsi, this was really great. You know, we were this was really the years of the cola wars, right? So we were the small company taking on the world's most expensive brand. Young, passionate people taking on big budgets. A startup company taking on, you know, a company which had acquired the largest bottler in this country. It was the classic war. Pepsi versus, I forget the name of that company, but yeah. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. It's a 4-letter word. That much I remember.